Hello and welcome to Hot Topics and Hypnotherapy. If you're just joining us, today we're learning about hypnotic entrainment music with our guest Leigh Spusta. Leigh has been fantastic in showing us the type of music he's been developing, and we left off on your products, the type of products that you offer.
Sure. I have a series of CDs that I've created, and each one has kind of its own intention behind it as far as how I approached it. All of it's using the same kind of PsimatiX approach, which I say PsimatiX because I use a blend of different entrainment methods. And so, the first one I created was called Distant Images, and that one really, each track that you listen to is a little bit different, and so it's really kind of a journey that changes and moves as it goes along. And so, it's very trance-inducing, but when you listen to it, it has a tendency to kind of move you in different ways as you move through it. And it's just an interesting experience, and it has a tendency to drop you deeper and deeper as you listen to it. The second one I created was called Mystic Ascension, and that one has a little bit more of a once you're into this alpha kind of state, it kind of keeps you there for a while. The music doesn't change as dynamically, but there are different tracks on it. And the intention for that one is for people not only to use it for meditation, self-hypnosis, but just to get into the state and just kind of stay in that kind of Zen-like place. So it's not, once you're there, it doesn't kind of move around too much. The third one I came up with was called Opus Magnum. Now that one, which means the great work in Latin, and it was inspired with the idea of translating sacred geometry into sound. And for people who are familiar with Western traditions of mysticism or meditation or occult concepts, there's this idea the opus magnum is the great work, which you're trying to kind of raise your level of yourself up to this higher and higher level. You're really trying to...
We all want to levitate.
Yeah, apotheosis, I guess, is really the best word to define it, which is striving to become as divine as you can possibly be, right?
Definitely.
And so
which really runs along the lines of hypnotherapy and striving to be the best.
It's all self-enhancement and
definitely
bettering yourself. And so by listening to it, you're attuning yourself to these different, not only the frequencies for the entrainment purpose, but also then the relationships between this tone and that one have this, the golden ratio is something I used a lot in there, which that's the math in the universe that is why things spiral, and it's, they call it the golden ratio. And
how would we find these products?
My website, PsimatiX.com. So
PsimatiX.com.
That's www.PsimatiX.com. And I have downloads or CDs, you can check it out. Also on YouTube, if you go to youtube.com/Leigh Spusta, I have a lot of samples and videos, so there's a lot of visuals that you can check out and watch while you're listening. And I also created a chakra attunement series too.
Oh, wow.
And that one, for people that know about the chakras,
yeah, definitely.
Each chakra, there's 7 of them in the body that kind of correspond with the endocrine glands in the body, and then the organs that are associated with them and whatnot. But also there's a mental and emotional sphere and a mental sphere attached to each of them. And so as you're listening to each 15-minute track, then you can do the process of, they call it attuning or an attunement, of just kind of harmonizing with the sound and focusing on the concepts and ideas that are going to strengthen that chakra, and or working through the issues that you have that might be associated with that chakra. And you can use the music to kind of help you. It just spearheads your focus to do that.
Leigh, this is so unconventional. Which came first, the hypnotherapy or the...
For me?
Yes.
I can't answer that because it's just like...
It all combines.
Yeah, I've been a musician for a longer time than I've been involved in hypnosis. So, I think that was probably the first seed that was planted. It's like, okay, music does something.
Yes.
It's not just, you
And
listen to Jimi Hendrix, it's great, and you're feeling it. But also the relaxation benefits of some of the New Age music, things like that, intrigued me. And then the music of India just fascinated me. And in India, they do draw more of a connection between spirituality and sound and music. And the Om is something probably most people are familiar with, chanting Om, Om over and over again. Om in Sanskrit means the sound of the universe.
Do we all want to try it?
We could. I don't know if we have time.
Yeah.
But it's something anybody can practice at home. You start resonating with that tone, and it's a simple exercise, but it has a profound effect the more you do it. And it's calming, it's centering, it helps focus, and it moves you into this alpha state very naturally and very easily. And so, hypnosis.
And you said you incorporated that into a sound bed.
Yes.
And the sound bed brings vibrations to the body.
That's right.
As well. How have you found that that's actually helped in the deepening? Because it does carry you and take you even deeper, but the actual body physical connection.
Well, you're incorporating more senses, so you're getting a more holistic or a more engulfing, systemic kind of experience of being in an altered state, and so you can move more deeply into it. But just like, for massage, people use vibration because it cuts through stress. That's just what it does.
What's the average time frame? The time frame do you follow through the entire CD? How many tracks are on a CD?
It depends. On average, length of a CD is anywhere between half an hour and 45 minutes, and that's the session will be anywhere between those times as far as the music part of it. So, and there's different approaches. You can give suggestions just like you would with standard hypnosis along with the music, or you can do an imagery process that kind of incorporates the ebbs and flows of the sound. Or you can, and I often do, just work with the person cognitively a little bit, and then give them the time and the space to experience the music themselves. And what's interesting is the way the intention of the universe and yourself works. The very things that you need to focus on are the things that kind of come up for you in this space of resolution and expansion, so that it's like your own therapeutic process will unfold as you're experiencing that.
Definitely. That's what I found with your music. It's very, very powerful. And how long have you been developing this music?
I guess about a decade. Maybe experimenting earlier than that, but I guess about a decade ago I really came across the conclusion that, okay, I'm going to do something with this. I'm going to find out what makes it, music work to facilitate trance and things like that. And about that long.
Wow, that's fantastic. And if you could repeat your website out for us one more time.
Sure, www.PsimatiX.com, PSIMATIX.com.
And how much would they ballpark the price range?
Downloads starting at like $10. You can download 40 minutes of stuff. You can buy CDs, of course, but I encourage people to get the downloads. It's cheaper and it's less like material, that the planet has to deal with. But I also have a special running $29.95. You get everything on my website. It's like 3 hours or more of the music.
That's a really good deal.
I think it's a good deal. And I got more on the way. I'm constantly, especially more and more now lately, I'm devoting more time to creating new content.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Have you found that this has shaped the flow of your alternative music as well? With
a little
changing
bit.
The flow of your energy and the flow of your mindset?
Yeah. I mean, it spills over into pretty much every other aspect musically that because I'm in a rock group, if you will, and we talk about, hey, let's incorporate some entrainment in there to get people really experiencing things, and I think it has a beneficial impact in that way. But I don't know how much more time we have, but I did want to mention.
I know we are. Yes, please.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We are running a little short, but we do have a little bit of time.
Okay. I do CD production as well for people that want to create their own hypnotherapy products, and so I have a studio where people can come in and record, and then I can edit the voice together, and we can use PsimatiX music underneath it in order to kind of really put the whole thing together in a holistic, nice package. And so just putting that out there for people that are interested in creating products.
Very powerful. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Sure.
I know that it appears that our time is running low, and we definitely appreciate everything. And I just want to thank our guest, Leigh Spusta, once again for telling us about hypnotic entrainment music. For more information, you can find him at www.PsimatiX, that's PSIMATIX.com. And thank you at home for watching the show. My name is Alta Lainez, and I hope you will join us next time when we explore more hot topics in hypnotherapy. Please stay tuned. We have a lot more coming up for you on HMI Web TV, Hypnotherapy Television 24/7. Hello and welcome to Hot Topics in Hypnotherapy.
And so, the first one I created was called Distant Images, and that one really, each track that you listen to is a little bit different, and so it's really kind of a journey that changes and moves as it goes along. And so, it's very trance-inducing, but when you listen to it, it has a tendency to...
If you're just joining us, today we're learning about hypnotic entrainment music with our guest, Leigh Spusta. Leigh has been fantastic in showing us the type of music he's been developing, and we left off on your products, the type of products that you offer.
Sure. I have a series of CDs that I've created, and each one has kind of its own intention behind it as far as how I approached it. All of it's using the same kind of PsimatiX approach, which I say PsimatiX because I use a blend of different entrainment method, kind of move you in different ways as you move through it. And it's just an interesting experience, and it has a tendency to drop you deeper and deeper as you listen to it. The second one I created was called Mystic Ascension, and that one has a little bit more of a, once you're into this alpha